Welcome to Calling All Curls. I'm your host, Amanda Stargell, and we're here in Houston with the co-owner of Natural Resources, Tamika Fletcher. Today we'll be watching a consultation, a wash, a blowout, and a few everyday styles. Let's go in. Hello, my name is Tamika Fletcher, and I am one of the owners of Natural Resources Salon, and today I have the privilege and pleasure of participating in the Calling All Curls series with naturallycurly.com. Naturallycurly.com is one of the many websites that is out there helping us to educate ourselves, to find information where we need it. When I went natural personally 15 years ago, there weren't nearly as many people doing YouTube videos and organizations out there that are dedicated to helping people. So kudos to all of you that have made it your mission to educate us on natural hair and just to keep us abreast of what's new and what's stylish. So today we're hoping to share information with you about natural hair, on styling, on some do-it-yourself styles. You know, the salon is important, but it's also important to know what to do at home. And so we're hoping that we can shed a little light on detangling this world of curls and kind of helping you manage your own head of curly hair. So stay tuned. So you've enjoyed your hair, but you're in a salon because you want a different look? Or
yeah, I just want to be able to do more professional styles for work, because this is what I like to wear on the weekends, but this is not always appropriate for work. So
you know, I hear that a lot. A lot of the clients that come into Natural Resource, so a lot of the people that come in that want hair services are women that are professionals, but the new modern natural woman, I think, is slightly different than maybe 50, no, maybe even 30 years ago.
Right.
I think that now we're not really interested in chemicals, really want to be healthy, want our hair to be stylish at the same time, but we don't want to do a lot of manipulation every day.
Right.
So we're constantly looking for perfect styles. I don't think there is a perfect style, but I think there are some things that we can do day to day to make the process a lot easier.
Okay.
And so today I'd like to show you some of the things that you can do to wear your hair day to day. If you want twists, we can talk about that. Some of the things that I ask usually are, you know, are you wanting this style to last for 2 weeks or 2 months? Would you rather use your own hair? Would you rather use extensions? And so where do you think you fall into the category?
I'm someone, I like to wash my hair once a week, at least, or once every 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
I don't really want any weave. I just want to use my natural hair.
Okay.
And just something that's healthy, that's not a lot of maintenance, so to say. Because right now I probably twist my hair up every night.
Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to start with is your detangle. Okay. And I think it's a great idea to detangle your hair with a little bit of conditioner. And so that's what I'm going to do. But let me show you how I make my conditioner.
Okay.
This is about 9 parts water. You want 1 part conditioner. And I like to mix this together to detangle prior to getting started. It's our mint leaves conditioner with tea tree. And I always think it's better to have products that don't have sulfates and extra ingredients. So we'll be using earth's nectar today to do your detangle with, but it's just a simple mix of conditioner and water. The conditioner helps to protect your hair in the shampooing process as well. Okay. Always start by sectioning the hair first. The very first step is to section your hair into a size that's manageable and easy for you to comb. I usually like to start on the tips of the hair, as far on the tip as I can, working my way back up to the scalp. And the next step would be to put your hair in a large twist that will keep it from retangling while I'm going through the process of detangling. As you can see, I'm not making perfect parts. And so this is not something that you have to take a lot of time doing or do in the mirror, but I will say to be careful. Start on the very tips after you've sprayed it and work your way back up to the top. I always find that it actually takes less time to take your time than it does to rush. I like to use mint leaves, Earth's Nectar mint leaves conditioner for my blend because I love the fact that it has a little bit of peppermint, a little bit of rosemary and tea tree. So that actually helps to keep your scalp nice and healthy. Do you detangle wet or dry? I guess the answer for me would be wet hair with a light amount of conditioner to protect your hair from popping and breaking while you're combing. I definitely don't recommend bristle brushes on natural hair, and I definitely don't recommend brushing wet hair, especially wet curly hair. One of the major mistakes that I see naturals make is shampooing hair after removing extensions without completely detangling hair. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come in frightened that their hair is tangled to the point where they'd have to cut it. But the idea is this: if you've had your hair in a style for 2 months, your hair has a certain amount of memory. It remembers the style that it's been in for 2 months. And so if you've decided to take the extensions out without detangling, once you shampoo your hair and condition it, a lot of people think that the conditioner will loosen up the tangles, and actually the water and shampoo and conditioner will create tangles. So it's really a better idea to remove your twist, remove whatever the extension style is, and this same process that we just went through is what you would do prior to getting more extensions or shampooing your hair after extensions. So Crystal, the first thing we're going to do is shampoo, and we're going to use our lavender flower shampoo by Earth's Nectar. And I chose this particular shampoo for your hair because it's for normal hair. Lavender is a great essential oil for normal hair types, and so that's why I chose this one. It's a sulfate-free shampoo, so you won't experience any extra dryness afterwards, and I'll also be using the same type of conditioner. And I usually shampoo your hair with the twist in. It really helps to expose the scalp, especially if you have very thick curly hair. I'll remove the twist during the conditioning step, but for now, it's a better idea to leave your hair twisted. You know, a lot of my clients ask me, why doesn't the shampoo have as many bubbles as the shampoo that I buy at the store? Well, I always tell them that more bubbles doesn't mean your hair is cleaner. Bubbles actually are there because of a certain amount of detergent that's in a shampoo. Shampoos that don't have as much detergent won't give you as much of a sudsy bubble effect, but that certainly doesn't mean it's not working. When you're shampooing and conditioning your hair, the focus should be on your scalp. But once the conditioner is all over your hair, you want all the manipulation to be on your scalp. I definitely don't believe in doing a lot of pulling and wringing, especially because you've already detangled it. It's never a good idea to wring your hair dry. I think it's better to use a soft towel to pat dry. And I'm going to wrap you up just for a couple of minutes and give the water a place to go. And I'll meet you back at my station. I'm just going to section your hair into 4 sections to prepare your hair for the blow dry. And again, we're blow drying your hair so that we can trim it. And it helps to see the ends better if you've trimmed it. Your hair is nice and detangled. I'm not having any problems parting it. And that is partly because we did your detangle prior to your shampoo. Your hair feels nice and soft. If your hair feels squeaky clean after you finish shampooing it, sometimes it's not a good idea. Some of my clients like to use products like Dr. Bronner's to shampoo with. Dr. Bronner's is a Castile soap, and so it's going to lift everything in your hair, including your natural oil, to the surface. And so if you're not using a conditioner immediately afterwards, it can really dry your hair out. But outside of that, it's always a good idea to dilute any type of Castile soap in water. Never ever blow dry hair that's soaking wet. What happens when water gets extremely hot? It boils. Exactly. And so it's never a good idea to blow dry your hair with a lot of water in it. If you have terry cloth, a t-shirt, or something that you can kind of pat your hair dry with, just make sure that it's damp, but you also don't want to blow dry hair. And so just kind of right in between, not too wet and not too dry. But I always make sure, even though I've detangled, that I go back through with a comb and detangle step by step. And I do that because you never want to blow dry hair that has tangles in it, because the heat will blow through the tangles and actually break your hair. And so I can understand how some people feel like they absolutely are against blow drying, but I feel like if you're doing it properly and you're not doing it too often, then blow drying can actually be good for your hair. It helps me to maintain length personally. And one word on hair texture, because I know that's something that a lot of my clients ask me, whether your hair is a 3A, 3B, or 3C. But I definitely think too that your hair is as unique as a fingerprint, so to try and put it into a category, into 2 categories especially, is really unnecessary, counterproductive, and almost impossible. I like this blow dryer because it has rubber teeth or plastic teeth that don't break when I drop it. They're small enough to guide it through the hair without breaking or damaging the hair. It's nice and tight so it doesn't come off. So I think it's well made. It's very lightweight, and I do have it when I'm blow drying both on 2. So it's on the hottest setting. However, I do keep the blow dryer moving. I never sit on one spot of the hair too long because you might burn the hair. So it's a very good idea to just keep your blow dryer moving the whole time you're working. Our last step is I'd like to go through and seal your hair with a light oil just to finish. And I'm using the lightest oil that we make, and this is our very first product called Manoi Milk. I'm going to take a light amount, rub it in my hands, and I'm going to put it all over the ends of your hair first. So I'm going to go back over with a blow dryer just to distribute the heat evenly. And I think sometimes it's a good idea to use a light amount of blow dryer with your oil just to kind of help it to penetrate. And again, I've done this same process that I'm doing to your hair now for the last 10 years, and I felt like I've lost any curl definition, and I don't feel like it's damaged my hair, and it's actually helped me maintain the length of my hair. Now this is serious. We're talking about trimming. Don't try trimming your hair if you're not sure what to do. One thing I've heard my clients say is that they'll give themselves a 2-strand twist on wet hair, and they can see the part on the end that needs to be trimmed. That's one way, but keep in mind that's not an even trim. To really get an even trim, you need to shampoo, condition, give yourself a light blow dry, and by all means use a guide. Use that first piece that you cut as a guide for the rest. If you have a lot of uneven hair and you're not able to see, that's why I say maybe it's a better idea to go into the salon. Even if you're not a salon person and you don't go to the salon all the time, that once every 3-month appointment for just a trim and a checkup, I think you'd appreciate it. Not losing hair because you didn't trim properly. Anytime you have damage on the ends of your hair that goes without attention for long enough, it will continue to split. And don't believe the Garnier Fructis, and no offense, I don't dislike Garnier Fructis, but what I will say is that damaged hair cannot be repaired. And so the commercials that you see where you see the cuticle sealing back together, I'm afraid that's not true. I think that damaged hair is exactly that, it's damaged. Making good decisions every day is what's going to keep your hair healthy. And yes, you can split hair from the bottom to the top. This is the most basic natural style. If you have natural hair and you have length to your hair, then you definitely want to know how to do a flat 2-strand twist. And I like to do my flat 2-strand twist starting with a far part on one side so that it gives me more height in the top. Splitting the hair into 2 sections, using my right hand over my left hand, and picking up hair and adding it to the piece that's underneath. I intentionally wanted this to be far to one side and flat because I want to add most of my interest to the other side of the style. Just giving it a slight lift. And I'm taking these 2 pieces in the back and connecting them. Okay, so the same style that we just did a few moments ago with our 2-strand twist, we're going to do a similar style. Okay, turn this way just a little bit. Same thing on the other side, we'll create a braid. Now, this is one of my favorite tricks to making a perfect pompadour really fast. And so what we'll do is we'll start with a very loose braid, and we will make it flat to the scalp, but we're going to give it some height just like we did before with our 2-strand twist. So the first step is an extremely loose braid. I like to create a very loose braid in the top where we've parted the hair for the pompadour. Give it a very loose braid. Stick your finger underneath it to give it some height, and then you can kind of place and shape your pieces where you want them. This style essentially takes about 4 minutes if you know how to create a braid. If making a 2-strand twist is easier, then use a 2-strand twist. I parted her hair in a horseshoe in the top, or the shape of a horseshoe to create the pompadour. We use the sides to create and connect the 2 cornrows in the back. It's a very elegant but very simple style that you can wear with blue jeans or with a formal dress. Okay, so this is truly my favorite everyday look, and I like to use tools. I think tools make any and every job easier, and so to have an accessory like the Conair clip really does help to speed along the process of styling. So what I'm going to do now is show you one, how to use the clip, and then show you one really quick style that I absolutely love that you can create with the clip in less than a minute. So we'll keep her pompadour exactly the same as it is in the front for now, just for the purposes of explaining to you how to use the clip. So the very first thing is the clip is made to have the concave part against your scalp. You see where it's turned? Okay, now we're going to add our clip. Smooth both sides. Guide your clip into one side first. At the beginning, I promised a 1-minute style. I'll go ahead and deduct 10 seconds for adding the clip, although I don't know if it took 10 seconds quite, but we'll go ahead and say 10 seconds. And so now we're going to time the creation of this look. It looks very elaborate, but as you'll see in a moment, it's really very simple. Okay, so are we ready to start the time? Okay, great. I have a bobby pin. I'm all finished.
Wow, already?
Mm-hmm.
How long was that?
10 seconds. Exactly.
Really?
50, I'm sorry.
If you're interested in laying down the flyaways, Earth's Nectar makes a sweet orange and honey pomade or hair conditioner cream. Either one of those products have enough weight to lay the hair down without building up. Sometimes it's not about symmetry and it's not about perfection. When I'm creating a bang like this, I create the funkiest looks by just giving it a twirl and a push.
Thank you for tuning in for this segment of Calling All Curls. Once again, I'm your host, Amanda Stargell, and we're in Houston, Texas at the Natural Resources Salon. Today, you got to see a licensed cosmetologist's perspective on proper hair care and different daily styling techniques. So for more information for Natural Resources, you can visit them at www.naturalresourcessalon.com and like their page on Facebook, Natural Resources Salon. Once again, I'm your host, Amanda Stargell, and thank you for tuning in for Calling All Curls. I hope you see the next segment.